Hey guys, don't worry about that background noise. That's just dirt bikes over at the Moto Park. So I never did film any of it. That was a couple of days of work. It's another pile way back there. We did both of them. Took us right around 2 days. It's a lot of hard work. And I didn't film any of it because I was busy running an excavator, and Bernice was working hard picking up the little twigs I couldn't get. And yeah, we just didn't film any of that. We're renting some pretty expensive machines, so we didn't want to spend a lot of time filming and that when we should have been working. So the other thing I've been up to, Bernice just left a little bit ago, but we made a trail back around through our property here. It's not all done yet, but I've got one loop in here that we can walk, and hoping to make it big enough here, just big enough for a quad to fit someday. Might have to trim a few trees at some point, but that's kind of the goal here, is to make it just big enough for a nice walking trail and clean it up and go from there. It's very hard to walk in here until we cut a little trail through here, but didn't really take that much work to cut our path in a way. I worked at it an hour here, an hour there. It's dark in here. Let me change camera settings. I'm back. So anyway, we worked at this an hour here, an hour there. She come up this morning to help a little bit, and then she had to go do other stuff. It's a holiday today, so yeah, this is our property here. A couple of big pine trees. Now we're kind of entering into their cedar at the back here. Nice little cedar swamp. Deer trails all through here. I've never seen any deer yet, but we will. Probably the biggest issue so far is that I've been way too noisy when I'm back here. They know I'm here long before I know they're around, and they just disappear. So this part here is what I cut this morning, and then this is a pretty we're at a pretty sharp corner here. That's a trail we just came on. That's the one that we had cut earlier. And I'm guessing someday I'm gonna keep cutting somewhere through there. Yeah, it's the kind of land we were cutting in. So I'm gonna try and cut somewhere through there, get closer to that east side of our property, and then loop around and either join up the trail behind the buildings or go around and loop into the front hardwood bush as well. Yeah, absolutely gorgeous back here. I don't think you'll be able to see it on camera, but about 100 feet that way, I can see the trees, or I can see the field here on the back of our property. So we're close to the back here. So this property is only about 27 acres, so it's not massive, but it's a nice size. We can cut quite a few walking trails in here. Undergrowth is tight enough that if we cut trails in crisscrossing all this, it still seems quite secluded and private. So just pretty awesome. All kinds of fun stuff happening here. So this is a part of the property that we barely walked through before we bought it. It was very, very hard to get through here. We had fought our way through just before we, or after the snow melted. After we bought it, we'd come through some of this, but it was too tight to walk through without making a trail. And now, we're leaving the cedars behind us. This is more a little bit of a couple of feet of softwood in here. Elm, poplar, I'm not even sure what's all in here. And then we come across here, bit of an open area here, and we get into the, there's a spot of pines here. We get into this pine forest. So when we're in here, there's lots of little maples and stuff in here. This time of year, the low canopy looks like a lot of little maple trees, but there's all the big trees in here are big pine trees. So now we're only about 200 feet back out this way to where we started back there, but we got this little offshoot of a trail, and this is going to run over to where we got big plans for a little cabin for us. I'd like to get it built and get it put in here just for us to hang out this winter till our house gets built, and also just for whenever. Put a bed in it, stay over sometimes. So let's go see the cabin site. It's not all done yet. I need to get a few more small trees out of here. For the most part, we're pretty close. That one right there, that one will have to come out. The cabin will lay back in here. And yeah, there's a little natural opening here. Kind of in the pines, but yet there's a little natural opening here where I didn't need to cut down any of the pine trees. So a nice path in here. Back that way, if I cut down 3 more little trees, I can come up through there. I can bring the cabin in here complete, and then just clean up this area and turn it into a nice campsite in the middle of the pines here. So this will be our first cabin. We'll see what happens with it, and then we'll see if we ever do any more or where we go from here. So I think this area in the pines will be a pretty nice spot for a cabin. Given that in the summer there is a nice canopy of maple leaves in here providing shade, but in the winter it's just the pine trees, which will still be a little shaded, but it'll let a lot more light in here. And yeah, it should be a fun little spot to hang out. Also in the winter, there won't be mosquitoes back here. I'm really only about 200-300 feet from our building site, and that's in the hardwoods. There's almost no mosquitoes there, but back here there's a swampy area just down over this hill, and there tend to be a few more mosquitoes back here, but it's not bad. There's probably still less here than there was in our property in Mount Forest, so I'm okay with it. Anyhow, that concludes our little tour of of the bush there. There's a lot more hard maple out front here. The road's out that way. There's a lot more hard maple. Comes fall and winter, be able to see right through that once the leaves are gone. But yeah, I have to get some trails cut through that yet too at some point, but there's enough work here for a long time. I can probably find projects here for the rest of my life, so that's okay though. It's a nice quiet hideout back here. It's absolutely wonderful, and very, very blessed to be able to be here. So we'll see how it all works out. By tomorrow we should be starting to put a foundation here behind me, so I guess we'll see how that all works out, see how that goes, and go from there. Should be fun times. I should maybe film some of that. I'll have to be at work quite a bit, but I'll try and stop by some and see progress. Film some progress updates just for my interest's sake, really. Bernice can't be here all the time either, and get some progress updates that we can look back on through the years and see what we started with and what it becomes and go from there. So it's been pretty interesting so far, and I don't think it'll be any less interesting anytime soon. So stay tuned, we'll see how this all works out.